Those are the hits that I like. I like it when the 6-pin slaps out the 10 like that. What's going on, guys? Frank here with 10 Back Bowling, here to showcase the all-new Brunswick Ethos. This ball features a all-new core that Brunswick's introducing, combined with the SH 4.0 Pearl cover stock with the HK22 base. They're saying that this ball has a similar core to one of my favorite cores in Brunswick, which is the melee cores, but they've modified it slightly. So I'm expecting to see melee-like motion out of this bowling ball with a stronger back-end motion and a little more dig in the oil because of the HK22 base that they're now putting in to their Pearl bowling balls. So before we take the ball out to the lanes, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. All right, guys, so just like all the other videos, we're going to start farther to the right. We are bowling on a fresh house shot here at Wabash Lanes. Okay. That one traveled pretty far down the lane. It's a little more responsive than another bowling ball that I have that has a similar layout to this. I actually have a carbon melee. I didn't bring it with me, so we're just doing just a single ball here. This won't be a comparison video, but off the rip, I can definitely tell that this is a little cleaner through the front, a little stronger motion down lane. All right, so far 2 for 2 on the light shakers. Usually I put a pin down layout on one solid symmetrical ball that I have and one pearl symmetrical ball. And I've decided to do it to this Ethos. I can't remember honestly what the layout is on it, but my positive axis point is 4 over and a half up, and the pin is under my bridge. First impression so far, this ball is very, very clean through the front. I don't see it getting as forward as my carbon melee does. It's just slightly rounder in shape. That was pretty good there. There's one thing that I would run into throwing my carbon melee. It was the issue of when I had to get farther left, the ball would just seem to lock up a little too fast, and it would be way too forward through the pins. So shaping that bowling ball wasn't ideal, but I've got a feeling that this one is going to be much better. Oh, okay, so it's carrying the off hits. When I get it in the oil a little bit, it does dig more than my carbon melee did, and a lot of that has to do with the HK22 base that they're using now. I see much more forgiveness when I get the ball in with these bowling balls now than I did before. Now, see, I got that one way in. Still goes through the pins. That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. I got to round that a bit. Nope, still went through it. That's where I'm seeing the biggest difference between this one and my carbon. Much more continuation down lane. I'm trying to stay a little more up the back of the bowling ball as opposed to getting my hand around it, and I'm trying to be a little softer too. Definitely trying to back down the revolutions. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Wow, guys, that's 12 in a row with that bowling ball. There's no editing going on right now. We're not going to be swapping shots in and out. So that's pretty solid from there. I really like how responsive the ball is, but also how forgiving it is when I get the ball in or I get my hand around it a little bit. It still gives me that forgiveness, which is surprising considering that there's a little more volume here that I see compared to some of the other houses that I bowl in that have for their typical house shots. When I bowl at Park Center up in Canton, there's a lot more hook there compared to here. So I was expecting this bowling ball to not be as good on the fresh as opposed to what I see on the fresh in Canton. So far, pleasantly surprised. We're going to make a step to the left. I'm going to start getting my hand around the bowling ball a little bit more and adding a few more revolutions to see what we've got with this ball. All right, so we're moving 10 left with my feet. And we're going to get our hand around it a little bit more. Add a few more revolutions to the bowling ball. Guys, this ball is pretty good. Ugh, that was not very good. Oh, almost got there. So far, I don't feel like I have to do a whole lot of manipulating to get the ball to the pocket. With the pin down layout, I'm not seeing a whole lot of flare out of the bowling ball, but I can imagine that with a stronger layout, this ball is definitely going to flare a little more, and it would make it more responsive down lane. Oof, that was terrible. I can't throw it good every time, and that was a prime example of that. That was not pretty. That's better. Much better. The middle part of the lane. There's absolutely no way that I could throw my carbon melee in this part of the lane on a fresh house shot like this. It just doesn't have any chance compared to the Ethos. Just sucks the pins back. That's always nice. One thing I like about this bowling ball is that I don't feel like I have to force it to go through, to get through the front part of the lane or even the middle part of the lane. I can just relax, roll it off my hand, get my hand around it a little bit to create a little angle. I don't have to do anything fancy to the bowling ball. The ball goes through the pin so good, especially with it being a pin down layout. I wouldn't expect it to go through the pins to drive like that. But that's a reason why I take bowling balls that have these kind of numbers and do these pin down layouts, because if I do it to stronger bowling balls, they just read the lane way too soon for me, and they just don't have enough continuation down lane. Got that in a little. All right, the ball still looks really, really good playing more of my comfort zone part of the lane, especially on the fresh lane condition. Get it a little right, still is responsive enough, goes through the pins. If I get a little left, it still digs in the middle part of the oil. That's really, really good for a pearlized bowling ball. Normally, when you throw bowling balls like this with the pearl cover stocks, sometimes they get a little too responsive when they see the friction, and when you get it in, they just don't read the oil enough. I'm not seeing that with this bowling ball, so we're going to take one more step to the left. I'm going to slow down a little bit more, get my hand around it a little bit more, and see what the ball does. Okay, so we've moved another 10 left. And we're going to slow down a little bit more, and we're going to create a little bit more rotation. Guys, if a pin down bowling ball is going through the pins like this, you know it's a winner in my book. I can already tell you that we're going to be hanging up the carbon melee, and this ball is going to be taking its place. Yeah, that was a little miss hit, and I got it a little farther right, where normally some of the stuff that I have, like the pre-HK 22 balls, they don't recover from there. I know I hear from some people, oh, they're putting HK on everything. Why are they putting HK on everything? Well, that's why, guys. That's why they put HK on everything right now, to give you that kind of forgiveness. So I've done this pin down layout to 2 previous versions. Obviously, we've talked about the carbon melee. The other one that I've done this to was the midnight melee. The differences between the midnight melee for me and the carbon melee was that the midnight melee was a little smoother, and it didn't lock up as fast. You didn't see the ball turn over as quickly as the carbon melee did for me. But the midnight melee, I'd run into issues when I had to get left. It would give me the pocket, but it just didn't have enough drive. This one gives me that drive. Almost. It's a little firm with that one. A little firm and a little spinny, but I mean, the ball still had a chance. And that's really all you can ask for. And it's not very often that we run into bowling balls that, give us the ability to, to throw for an entire 3-game set, especially when you have, you're bowling on in leagues that have 4 people, 4-person teams, or especially 5-person teams. More than likely, you're getting out of one bowling ball and getting into another. Sometimes after half a game, but I just don't see that happening with this bowling ball. I can totally see myself throwing this, not only in just a 3-game set, but if I'm bowling a tournament, I could see myself using this throughout a 4 or 5 or possibly even a 6-game set, depending on what I'm bowling on. I would love to drill another one of these and do a pin-up layout so that I can see the difference between the two, because this pin-down layout is awesome right now. I got that right, and it still makes it back. All right, guys. There you have it for the all-new Brunswick Ethos. This ball is going to replace, for sure, my carbon melee. My carbon melee is going to go up on the shelf until I bowl in a place where I need something that's going to lock up and be more forward. You know, for a bowling ball that gives me forgiveness, playing farther out and taking my hand out of it and moving way in and slowing down and getting my hand around it. Right now, this ball is second to none for me. I would highly recommend, you know, all styles of bowlers throwing this type of bowling ball. If you're a slower speed and a higher rev rate, I think you're really going to like this ball. If you're a higher speed and lower rev rate, I still think you're going to like this ball. And then for those of you who are matched, ball speed and rev rate match up to each other, you're going to love this ball too. The versatility in this bowling ball right now is second to none when we're comparing pluralized bowling balls across the market. You know, and we're talking Storm, Brunswick, Motive. I just don't see a bowling ball giving you this type of forgiveness and you being able to throw this bowling ball for, you know, for a 3-game set compared to some of the other pearl bowling balls that are out in the market. The lower end bowling balls, you know, like your Fireballs, your IQ Tour Rubies, you know, once you start getting them in the oil, they just don't quite have the continuation that this bowling ball does, and you know, and vice versa. Bowling balls that are stronger pearls, like for me, the Crypto Boom and the Cuda Pearl. They're, once I get, you know, farther left with it, they just kind of run out of energy a little bit, and I have to do a little more manipulating. I don't have to do that with this bowling ball, and I think you would see that comparing it to maybe like a Phase 5 from Storm. You know, it just runs out of energy once you start getting left and having to manipulate. You got to manipulate the ball too much to get what you want out of it. I don't see that with this bowling ball. So, once again, if you liked the ball motion and you want to get one for yourself, stop by 10 Back Pro Shop at one of our 3 locations, or stop by your local pro shop and get one of these bad boys into your hands today. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next video.